Welcome, rebels. Let's fight for the life you want and deserve. Should you buy a home in your 20s? Buying your first home is a big decision, but many young people rush in without thinking about the future. Here are some common pitfalls when purchasing your dream castle too early. Buying a smaller home without room for future growth. Overlooking maintenance costs, closing costs, and rising property taxes. Not saving enough for a solid down payment. Becoming house poor, leaving no money for travel, hobbies, or fun. Spending more than 30% of your income on a house payment, ignoring location factors like future job opportunities, school quality, or whether the area suits your lifestyle. Look at this chart showing home values drop over 60%. Thinking of a home as an asset, real estate doesn't always go up. Home values have plummeted over 60% in the US, a decline we've only seen during the 2008 crash and the 2022 mortgage rate spike. In 2025, this signals a spreading housing market downturn. Will this last all year? I'm not sure, but if it continues, values will keep falling. With high interest rates, buyers are scarce. From 2008 to today, the average interest rate has been 4.6%, but a 30-year mortgage now sits at 6.89%. I wouldn't recommend buying a home with rates this high, not financial advice. When rates drop, expect the market to heat up as people with 3% mortgages start moving. If you're waiting for a crash, I don't see it happening. It's more likely a soft landing for real estate. For a $400,000 home at 6.80% interest, you're looking at roughly $2,200 per month, excluding property taxes, insurance, HOA fees, or PME, if your down payment is less than 20%. With a great credit score, total cost could hit $3,000 to $4,000 monthly. In February 2025, the median price for new single-family homes hit $500,000, the highest level since November 2007. This sharp increase highlights a growing affordability crisis, especially for younger generations trying to enter the housing market. While wages have struggled to keep up with inflation and rising cost of living, housing prices have surged, pushing the dream of homeownership further out of reach. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, this represents a 12% increase from the same time last year, and nearly a 40% jump from pre-pandemic levels in early 2020. Meanwhile, average hourly earnings have grown just 4.3% year over year, barely enough to keep pace with inflation, let alone home prices. At current mortgage rates hovering around 6.75% in early 2025, the monthly payment on a $500,000 home with a 10% down payment exceeds $3,200 before taxes and insurance. That's nearly double the average rent in many parts of the country, and far beyond what most first-time buyers can afford, without stretching themselves financially thin. Add in the weight of student loan debt, rising childcare costs, and stagnant savings rates, and it becomes clear why so many younger Americans are either delaying homeownership or taking on riskier financial positions just to get a foot in the door. Here are the downsides many young people overlook when buying their castle. It limits your flexibility. Traveling or relocating becomes harder. Mortgage payments don't build equity fast. Early on, about 70% goes to interest and only 30% to equity. You won't stack meaningful equity until around year 10, in my opinion. Early years, years 1 to 10. Most of your payment covers interest, not principal. Equity grows slowly. For example, on a $300,000 loan at 6% interest, your first payment might only apply $300 to $400 to principal. Middle years, years 11 to 20. More of each payment goes to principal, and equity builds faster. Later years, years 21 to 30. Most of your payment reduces principal, and equity grows rapidly. Rising home prices aren't guaranteed. They vary by city and state. Ask yourself, are you buying in an area people want to live in now or in the future? Do you plan to stay 5 years and upgrade or 10 to 15 years? Owning a home is expensive. Closing costs, high interest rates, property taxes, HOA fees, utilities, maintenance, insurance, and upfront costs add up. Imagine closing on your castle, putting down $30,000, and then the washer and dryer break, costing $2,000 to $3,000. 8 months later, the water heater fails. You get the idea? Unexpected expenses hit hard. The biggest con? Opportunity cost. That $50,000 down payment could be invested in a faster moving asset. Here's an example of a faster horse. If you invested $50,000 in Bitcoin in 2017, you'd have bought 3.8 Bitcoin, now worth nearly $400,000. Sell that today and you've got $300,000 to $400,000 for a down payment before taxes. Depending on where you live, crypto taxes might even be zero. Compare that to a $50,000 down payment on a house. Bitcoin could have transformed your financial game. Find faster horses. If you'd invested $50,000 in HIMS at its April 2024 lows, when fear was high and sentiment was negative, you could have doubled your money in under a year. Was it risky? Absolutely. But this isn't financial advice. It's a real-world example of what's possible when you buy the right assets at the right time. It highlights a key principle. Liquidity creates opportunity. When your capital is flexible, you can respond to undervalued opportunities, asymmetric bets, or fast-growing sectors. That's the hidden cost of locking your money into a primary residence too early. A $100,000 down payment tied up in a house could have been the capital that bought you freedom, or at least outsized returns. Now, homeownership has its place. Everyone deserves their castle. But buying a home isn't just about shelter. It's a major financial decision with long-term consequences. You've got to play the game smart. Timing matters, asset selection matters, and above all, being emotionally detached enough to act when others are fearful, that's where the edge lies. Don't just chase stability, chase velocity. Buy when there's blood in the streets. Thank you, rebels. Fight for the life you want and deserve. Don't settle for the script society hands you. Question the norms, challenge the system, take risks, learn fast, move smart. Whether it's building wealth, owning your time, or creating a life on your terms, you're not here to survive the rat race. You're here to break it. Keep pushing, keep rising,